April meeting of Marion County Commission. Tonight's invocation is being given by Commissioner Dennis Rollins. I also would like to ask to remember a young man on the north end of the county, 7th graders, not doing very well, cancer victim, Axton Robertson. So keep him in your prayers and the family, please. Commissioner Rollins.
Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, this evening, Lord, we come to your prayer, Lord, once again. Lord, once again, we thank you for all that you've done for us. Thank you, Lord, for taking care of us, for being with us, Lord, and for just being a God, Lord, that we can call out on. I'm thankful today, Lord, I can call you a friend. Lord, no matter what time I need to speak to you, Lord, I can always talk to you, Lord. I'm thankful for that. Lord, I pray that you would just touch this meeting this evening. Lord, touch each one that takes part. Lord, give us all understanding of each other. Lord, we understand that some people, Lord, has ideas that I may not agree with. Lord, somebody else may not agree with. But Lord, they're important to them. Lord, help us today, Lord, to understand one another. Lord, I pray that you would, Lord, just reach down, Lord, and touch this young man there in Whitwell, Lord, with cancer. Lord, just touch them, Lord, touch that family. Go with us, Lord, touch our country. In Jesus' sweet name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Madam Chair. Clerk.
Commissioner Abbott.
Here.
Commissioner Atkins.
Here.
Commissioner Blansett.
Here.
Commissioner Brandt.
Here.
Commissioner Campbell.
Here.
Commissioner Cantrell.
Here.
Commissioner Franklin. Commissioner Hargis. Commissioner Holland. Commissioner Mason. Chairman Morrison.
Here.
Commissioner Nunley.
Here.
Commissioner Rollins.
Here.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Approval minutes of the previous meeting. Entertain a motion or discussion. Motion by Commissioner Campbell, second by, I'm sorry, you got a question or second?
Second and
Okay.
question.
Okay. Second by Commissioner Schaefer. Yes, Commissioner Schaefer.
On item 7, approval of change order State Route 2 water line project, I'd like to change my vote to a no. After review of the state statute, I need to say no.
Yes, please.
You can, Mr. Schaefer, you can let that be reflected in the minutes for this meeting, but in order to change your vote, you have to do it before the previous meeting has been adjourned. So you're still gonna be counted as a yes vote. Your explanation now can be reflected in this month's minutes, if that makes sense. But as far as changing the vote, then the law requires that the changed vote be done before the meeting is adjourned, at which that vote is cast.
Well, I didn't have a chance to review the state statute.
Understood.
So that'll be reflected in the minutes.
For this meeting, yes, sir.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the April agenda.
Motion.
Motion to accept by Commissioner Campbell. Second by Commissioner Cantrell. All in favor? Opposed? Public comments. Pat Clancy, you'll come to the podium, please, sir. Thank you, Mr. Clancy.
Thank you.
If you'll wrap up in 3 minutes, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. About 10 years ago, we moved to Tennessee. My wife and I were very close friends with somebody in Johnson City. They lived there for 10 generations. But I really wanted Crossville to Pikeville. And then my wife saw the property up in Jasper Highlands, and she was happy. And we know about what happy wife is, right? Okay, so just to let you know, we've been there about 8 years. We really enjoy living in the community here. The HOA changed over, and just to let the community know, they are very competent. I think all of us feel very appreciative of their ability to manage that property up there. They've got plans to rebuild every road up there, and there's a big range between blue collar and CEOs. So I don't know if anybody is dissatisfied with what's going on, other than maybe the increase in the HOA, which was all part of it. Everybody here came up to the firehouse about 4 years ago, and it was a great meeting. You guys were very gracious. You told us what your jobs were, and I shook your hand, all of you. Anytime I had a question, I would call, and it was answered right away, and I want to say I appreciate that. Last week I received an appraisal bill of 25% increase, which I was a little surprised. I know Mr. Abbott's going to talk about the tax freeze shortly. I don't know if it has anything to do with me, and my question is not for that, because in all my years of receiving a tax bill, there were line items on it, and I could see that how much you paid for the school district, how much you paid for the highway, how much you paid for the fire department, even the lights. So I know you don't do that, but maybe someday in the future we could see that. But because I can't make all the meetings, I know the one that's coming up soon is a budget meeting, and you're going to address a lot of those issues. But if you get a tax bill, I think it'd be a little bit more information that we would all appreciate. I like Marion County Messenger, because it's hard to get any information. And I really appreciate it, because I didn't even know what a clerk is. Wasn't sure what a commissioner does, but they addressed it on some of those things. The clerk is essentially she collects money and pays bills, right? She's a treasurer, right? Okay, so I don't know if that'll be addressed. The last thing I want to just say is that I was surprised to see a settlement a few months ago. And I said, how did that happen? And then I saw the video. To be honest, I even went as far as looking at the disposition of 2 people. And the last question posed to one commissioner and the sheriff was, if you had to do it all over again, would you change anything? And they both said no. And I was surprised. I was also surprised when I saw this man speak that nobody said anything. Attorney, the mayor, nobody said anything. So I don't know if there's a code of ethics, but the website on Marion County Commission, there's very little information, and maybe you should think about something that I'm talking about. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate all the work that you guys do too.
Thank you, Mr. Clancy. Budget amendments, Marion County local government.
Mr. Chairman, you have those in front of you. You'll see a decrease in expenditures for the sheriff's resource officers of $100,000. You'll see a decrease in reserves for the mental health transport grant and the jail expansion capital project. You'll see a decrease in revenue from other grants, tourism, mental health grant, other federal through state grants, taxi lane grant, we're just finishing that up, getting paid out. And other federal grants, the CDBG food insecurity grant. I guess I should go with these copies, I'm sorry, left those out. So we'll back up the jail expansion, $1,230,593.45. The
Other grants, tourism and mental health is $15,231.56. The federal, through state grants for the tax lane is $185,000. CDBG food insecurity grants, $84,654.91. And opioid settlement funds is $8,698.26 for a total of $1,625,285.18. Those expenditures, one, jail expansion, $1,230,593.45. The sheriff's SRO grant overtime, $20,000. Other salaries, sheriff's SRO grant, $25,000. Sheriff's SRO grant for tires and tubes for SRO vehicles, $5,000. Vehicle parts, sheriff's SRO grant, this is for SRO vehicles of $25,000. And then, law enforcement equipment, sheriff's SRO grant, $25,000. Sheriff's, other charges, the mental health grant and opioid of $16,023.21. The CDBG food insecurity is $84,654.91. Tourism grant was $9,013.61, and the taxiway was $185,000. And that comes at 1.6 million that I read just a minute ago. And on the second page, you have decreased revenue from state grants, $315,014.54. Decreased fund balance of $533,053.30. Total of $847,068.34. This is paying on the interconnected water line through the ARPA grant for $847,068.34. That's all grant.
Questions? Entertain motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Cantrell, second from Commissioner Nunley. All in favor? I'm sorry. Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry, Commissioner Nunley. Budget amendments, Marion County Board of Education. Dr. Griffith is at a conference. Entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
Commissioner Schaefer, second by Commissioner Abbott. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Budget amendments, Marion County Highway Department. Mr. Pickett.
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Approval of change order for Marion County Health Department renovations. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have in front of you a change order of $10,795.20. This does not increase the cost of the project. This is some money, it's a contingency fund, to replace flooring and some bathrooms. It was not an original bid grant, or bid package. The new floors and the bathroom floors don't really match. Again, this does not increase overall cost. This is just in the contingency fund, so we can use this money for.
Questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Atkins, second by Commissioner Rollins. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval TCRS retirement system employer rate of 8.50 for 26-27. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is, from the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System. This is, for our employees' retirement fund. It's increased up to 8.50, it was 7 something last year. I don't know correctly what it is, but we receive this every year, and, it's been approved each year for our employees.
Questions? Entertain motion. Commissioner Cantrell, the motion. Second by Commissioner Campbell. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 13, approval of Marion County Highway Department request for abandonment of a portion of Scratch Ankle Road. Mr. Pickett?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, we got a request to reduce a 10th off of Scratch Ankle Road by Mr. Grimes. He was over there, he owns the property and everything, and it was just basically what was going on with Mr. Boss's property over in Squatchy, a bunch of mattresses and whatnot being thrown up there. I'm gonna abandon it, he's gonna put a gate up there to stop the people. We paved almost up there to it, so probably get some of that out of there, you know? by doing that abandonment. We'll take it off our road book, the 10th, you know.
Questions? Entertain a motion to remove that.
Second.
Commissioner Rollins, second by Commissioner Schaefer. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of Marion County Highway Department donations of surplus equipment, Mr. Pickett.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We'd like, the Highway Department wishes to donate a 2016 New Holland side mower tractor to the town of Piles Crossroads to help them out, if y'all would, please.
We'll do both those items.
And I got a old steel chainsaw at Whipple Mountain. A volunteer fire department had asked me to, if we ever had a saw or anything before we sold it, if we had one good enough to run, to donate to them to help us out at night on trees or, you know, whatnot. Most of the cities or volunteer fire departments help us if they can, so.
Questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Commissioner Blanchett, second by Commissioner Atkins. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
I'll get y'all up to date on what we're doing too a little bit. We're on Kettle Mill right now. We put 90 trucks down in 2 days, so we like about 100 trucks and we'll be done with that. From there, we're gonna do Kettle Mill Lane as our next one, and then we're going to Choctaw out on Suck Creek. And let me think just a second where we're going. We got a bunch. Whipple Mountain is on the agenda to go to, and I don't know after that, you know, but a bunch. So,
Thank you.
Was Gatner's Mill, some of that state aid?
Kettle Mill state aid, yes, sir. We just did a Hall Road, which was state aid. Kettle Mill will be state aid. We won't do any more state aid till probably fall or probably next spring. We're gonna try to do some of our county smaller roads now.
Thank you,
y'all.
Mr. Pickett.
Yep, thank you.
Agenda item number 15, declare rec patrol car as surplus property. Sheriff, you, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry.
We have, officers involved in an accident a few weeks back in a pursuit. And the insurance company's totaled the car. The insurance company usually has a a scrapyard broker, somebody come get it. They can't find anybody to come get it. So, according to the comptroller's office, we need to declare surplus property. And we'll put an advertisement in the paper to sell it to somebody. If it doesn't sell, then we'll probably get hold of C&D Recycling, have them come haul it off, give us some money for it, but I recommend we, make this piece of surplus property so we can get rid of it, get it off the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Commissioner Rollins with the motion. Second by Commissioner Cantrell. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 16, Gary and Sheila Milan, Southwest Park Water Line.
Good evening, thank you for this opportunity. I'm Sheila Milan, and this is my husband Gary, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of history here with us. We purchased our property up on South Pittsburgh Mountain in 2013. Since the day we purchased that property, we've struggled with water access, though we were told it was coming. Our first well did not meet state standards, the second was barely workable, and the third initially produced well, but later failed. My husband designed a cistern system to capture any water that we could, and after spending about $22,000 trying to make the wells work, like many, we have been forced to cart water for the last 5 years. For people that don't go through the process of carting water, I just want to kind of share with you a little bit of what's involved in with that. We currently can transport 250 gallons at a time, requiring a 12-mile round trip to Orm Mountain Road that takes about 45 minutes per load. To maintain our cistern at times, we are making 2 trips, consuming over an hour and a half for that particular day. If we have extra company or watering the garden, it's more for us. So this is not unique to just us personally. Many in the Browns Trace and the Ridges communities face the same hardship. One neighbor has been hauling water for more than 22 years while waiting for the promised water service to come. We are extremely grateful for the water line installation along Highway 156 and recognize that long-term planning involved, including future hydrant installations. Having a hydrant near the community would lower homeowners' insurance rates since it would no longer be classified as a high-risk fire zone. While pressure may not yet meet state standards, the infrastructure is being put in place, which is both practical and forward-thinking. Along those same lines, the communities of Brown Trace would like to be considered for the same practical and forward-thinking. My husband and I have attended numerous commission meetings since hearing about the ARA grant and appreciate the advocacy shown by this commission, particularly Commissioner Mason and Morrison. Mullins Cove, Egypt Hollow, and Battle Creek have received change orders to extend and provide water service, recognizing the urgency of providing water where it is desperately needed. Given the precedent, we respectfully request equal consideration for the Browns Trace community. We are not asking for a full build-out currently, but for a $200,000 change order to extend the water line as far down Browns Trace as funds would allow. The route is relatively straight, seemingly few obstacles, and could significantly improve water access. A blow-off access point, like at Orm Mountain Road, would provide a safer and more convenient water collection for Browns Trace and the ridges. As I am sure you all know, the construction crews and equipment are already on site. Now is the most cost-effective time to act. Much of the mobilization expense has already been absorbed, and adding infrastructure now would reduce future costs. As Commissioner Morrison stated just last month, just get the people water and we'll work out the details. This sentiment led to a near unanimous vote by this commission to approve the Battle Creek change order. The residences of Browns Trace community and Ridges, even though the Ridges are private, so that's different circumstances. We're all still county taxpayers and facing daily hardship without a basic life necessity. Last Tuesday on a live feed, I saw Mayor Jackson said that Marion County was one of, if not the strongest fiscal community in Tennessee. So based on the precedent and the fiscal strength of our county, I do not feel that asking for a $200,000 change order is too much to ask from our leadership. Of course, if you're feeling extra generous, we'll take that too. So thus, we ask this commission to make a motion and approve a reasonable change order of $200,000 to address the critical water issue so many in the community face. That was me, thank you. You would like to say something?
Okay, my thought was, a while back when Commissioner Hargis was with us, he made a statement that really sounded home to me. He says, how come it is that we get blasted for all of these, maybe so what, you could say bad things, and we never get commendation for the good things that y'all do. So I wanted to give a shout out of thanks to all of you that we have water coming up 156 that we thought was going to take forever to get up our way, but here it is within our grasp, and so we thank you for that. I know that others such as Mullins Cove and SR2, I've never seen or heard any of those folks here to give thanks for the water that they have already received from this these water lines being ran, but we're here and we're still having to haul water, but we're that much closer to hopefully getting up into our subdivision. So I want to give you thanks that we're that close, and hopefully that you'll understand, giving us some consideration of a change order that those other subdivisions did receive, so we can at least bring it part way up into a convenient spot to where people can still fill their tanks up and still get back home with them safely, rather than on Orm Mountain Road, which is really kind of a hazard. You gotta watch it there when you're trying to fill getting your tanks filled up there. But ultimately, the hope is not to have to haul water, but here we are. Even though water is on 156, we still have to haul water, which is kind of a sad thing. But like I said, I give you thanks, we're that much closer to getting to where we wanna be, so that's what I wanted to say.
I have a kind of an irrelevant question. I know it was 13 years ago, but who, for lack of a better word, promised you water? I'm just curious.
Well, I would say it's all been through this whole, I'm not gonna say for sure,
Okay.
because I cannot say one particular individual. Ever since we moved here from our community, from people who have lived in this community and founded this community have told us that. So that's why I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I'll answer some of that.
Go ahead, Commissioner Langston.
The water company that serves that area, I managed for 22 years. We put the water down 156 to the gate. And that was done with some grant money, and if you do an extension now, they've gotta go back and get it totally engineered and go through a lot of hoops, but you're at the wrong meeting. You need to be talking to Southeastburg Board of Water Works. We can't make them do anything.
But yet you could okay a change order
It
last
doesn't-
month
no,
for
you can't do a
$200-something
change order
thousand
now
dollars
because
without
it has to
having
be
any
engineered.
engineering.
It has to be engineered now.
That's
before they
incorrect,
do it.
Mr. Milan, it was engineered, sir. That has been engineered, yes, sir.
Okay. All we're asking is the same consideration. Is that wrong?
No, but if you'll make that next meeting, then I'll go with you and we'll just get their answer, because they have to decide to do the line. So we can't make them, we can take a vote tonight and say, run that line down there. They don't have to do that. because
I
it's a
fully
different body.
understand what you're saying. This is true.
So-
So we look forward to next month, and at least this is on a conversation to determine whether it can be done or not.
Let's just meet them at the next meeting, find it first Tuesday or second Tuesday, whatever, and we can go to them and see what they can get done.
Perfect.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm sorry, for the South Pittsburgh water meeting?
South Pittsburgh Water Board meeting, that's where you need to go to.
So just for clarification, I thought from last meeting, I don't have my notes in front of me, that it was said that even though South Pittsburgh was the utility, the county made the decisions.
No, that's wrong, totally wrong. We have no authority over that utility.
Okay, so that would be, so to run those water lines has to be engineered and approved through South Pittsburgh.
Yes, ma'am.
And, but, so are they, were
We
they?
can, if we get a grant,
Uh-huh.
they say, okay, we'll do that if you apply for a grant, and we can get the grant money through the county, but the county just transfers the money to them, and they operate and control where the lines are gonna be and all that, that's on them. We can't make them do anything.
So South Pittsburgh, I'm just.
They're a
trying to
city-owned
clarify.
utility.
I'm sorry?
And they're gracious, we've been gracious enough to take it outside the city.
Right.
And we charge 1.5 times the rate to the people outside the city limits, because the people inside the city limits has over the time kept the business going and, using the money that citizens in South Pittsburgh have paid. So, yeah, they'll work with you, but, you gotta work with them. You gotta go
Yeah.
ask them to start with. And if they come to us, we might be able to come up with some grant money or ask for some grant money, but they have to decide what they're gonna do.
So we get to look at water and not have access to it, that's
Nah,
like cruel and unusual punishment.
Now, I'm the one that put the line down 156.
Going out to
Going
where the
out there,
bridge is.
stopped it at the gate on that one development there,
Yeah.
we couldn't go down in,
Right, yeah, being private, I
So
understand that.
I was the one that got that line put in while I was manager.
Oh, okay, well, we appreciate that,
Well, you're welcome.
thank you.
Thank y'all.
Chairman, if I can address Mr. Bland, or
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Lancet real quick, just to get some information on this. We obviously, on the mountain there, there's two developments that water goes up to. And I understand from Mr. Garth that once somebody, now I'm not, Waterworks is not my bailiwick, but to have a blow-off line.
This is what I put out there for people to come in and get water out of when you didn't have a line down the road.
I think the big question is, that we have the water now, or at least the line is getting put in. And I know with the workers being out there presently, Mr. Garth had mentioned that there was a discount if somebody wanted water underneath 156 on the other side. That right now, we could actually get it bored for half the cost, because normally that'd be $5,000. But now this is on the left side of the road if you're going towards the Eagles, so we don't have to worry about that. But as far as budgeting to get enough money for, is a tap the right word for what we're looking for? A place where they can at least fill up tanks
Flush hydrant.
for water.
It's just a.
Flush hydrant.
It's a flush hydrant that they use, and the one that we had out there, we had a lock and they were giving people keys to access it, so somebody couldn't come down and just turn it on and leave it running. So it's just, you know, they can get the water there. We need to talk to Keith and make sure that they can still access that to help them out until we can do something different.
It's just, I think that one of the questions is, you know, would the commission be willing to, if there's a $5,000 or $10,000 cost to get these people where they're able to utilize the water, would we be in, or have the ability to fund that? And I guess that goes through Mr. Garth, right?
We need to meet with Mr. Garth, find out what he can do and will do, and then if we need to pay some money, then I'm sure we can come up with help that.
Now, that is also a public road, Brown's
State
Trace,
road.
but the development beyond that, Timber Ridge, that goes into a private gated development.
Can't put water down private.
But we can go up to their gate on the public access and put one there as well. So that would be, and that'd be a blow off is what we're talking about. We're not talking about a fire hydrant because there's not enough pressure, is that correct? Why
It's
we
flow,
can't?
it's not pressure, it's flow.
Not enough pressure and flow, you have to have on the tap, we have to have 20 pounds, minimum 20 pounds on the meter for any house that we hook up. So we have to do a pressure test to see how much pressure they got out there. As far as the blow off, that's not gonna be kept depending on the pressure. We can do that. I think that, well, when I say we, I think they can do that. We'll have to talk to the manager. I can't speak for them anymore.
Okay, and then being that that's a public road, can the tap actually be put on the public access? Or does it have to go on private property?
Now, I think we'd have to find out where it'd be safe to put one where people are turning around with their tanks and everything to make sure they don't get hit by somebody coming down the road. So we just have to get with him, we can have, you know, meeting with him and find out what he can do, and then I'm sure he'll help us if we talk to him and he can help us out. He's a good guy, and I think he'll do it.
Another question that's been posed a number of times. Okay, we get the water line, and I think there's 25 PSI that they have to maintain.
20 minimum.
Okay. So at what point will residents be able to actually tap into that line? Is there a pumping station that's required, new tanks?
Put a pumping station on the main line for somewhere, the engineer, how he engineered, I'm not an engineer, so I can't tell you where it'd be. You know, it just have to be engineered to meet state standard, and once they okay it, and we ask for some money, maybe get some grant money to help them out with it. And if they're willing to do that, that board is, like I said, there's a 5-member board, and we gotta get them working on with us to make sure that it happens, if they can do it.
Okay, so for an actionable item, to be able to go back to the folks in our district, as far as going forward, do we go to the Southeastern Development District to start asking them to help with looking for grants in order to make it so we can get the pumping station, and is there additional tanks required as well?
Yeah, I think you could go to them and see if there's any money out there, yeah.
And is Mr. Garth the one that we should start that with, or do we start
I
that
think
with the
you
mayor?
talk to that board first,
Okay,
that'd be the first step. Talk to them and see what they're willing to do.
Currently, there's no CDBG grants for water and sewer lines at this time. They've reallocated that money to other grants. They changed that when this ARPA money come out. Now, they can change that back, but they hadn't yet. Once we get through, because our ARPA money has to be spent by September. So hopefully the state will go back and start funding CDBG grants and stuff next year for water and sewer lines. They cut that out.
I think we need to talk to him about getting the tap and the flush hydrant there first, before they can get the water, clean water.
Okay.
If we do that step, then we start looking for grant money, and
Hey,
then,
Commissioner Brand, to answer your question, any resident of 156 will be able to connect to that line, there's enough pressure and stuff there. That was done in the study, we're not, excuse me, engineer did the design and stuff. So there's people already getting paid tap fees and go take advantage, of reduce costs in the board and stuff while the company's there. But the people on that, 156 will be able to tap into that line.
Commissioner Bland said if we could work together on that, I'd like to have an actual item by next month, we go forward with having something for this
we'll get in
board.
contact with Keith, you and I, and we'll meet with these ladies and husband here, to get them down there to the meeting and see what we can get done.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 17, Cliff Huffman.
Thank you all for allowing me to speak and be heard. My name's Cliff Huffman. I'm a District 1 resident of Marion County. I live on Jackson Point Road. I'm here this evening to ask Commissioners' consideration of adopting a practice I believe will benefit residents of the county, the Commissioners, and the administration of our county government. County residents that wish to engage in the process of local government are allowed to speak on an agenda item at the commission meetings. However, the short, often somewhat abbreviated nature of the agenda line items may make it sometimes difficult for constituents to understand or contextualize agenda issues, thereby discouraging informed comments. In order for the community to better engage in local government and to enhance informed and proactive participation in their government, supporting information might be helpful if it were made available to the public at the time of agenda publication. Specifically, I request the supporting documents provided in the Commissioners' packets in their entirety be published online with the agenda. Public access to this information would be valuable, especially to those who engage and intelligently contribute or comment on pertinent issues. The sharing of information might provide valuable insights and viewpoints that informed public comments could offer the Commissioners, both at the meetings and proactively in interpersonal encounters with their constituents. The public sharing of this information might also enable constituents to be better informed coming into a meeting and enhance public perception of local government transparency among its constituency. For the Commissioners, this could potentially create a paperless option, and for the administration, this could potentially result in decrease of administrative expenses and workload. It could also help mitigate the exhaustion of natural resources. Implementation of such practice would also create a more adequate paper trail for historic purposes. Attached documents, for instance, mentioned in minutes, would be electronically available alongside corresponding agendas, thereby requiring less need for filing of official in-person requests of documents through open information appeals. Therefore, while I do not ask for the Commission to decide on this now, I do ask the Commissioners give thoughtful considerations to this proposal. Making the information in the Commissioners' packets electronically available at the time of the agenda publication would, I believe, benefit us all. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Huffman. Go ahead, Commissioner Brand.
Chairman, just going over what Mr. Hoffman has requested, is there no way for us to for instance, when we release the agenda, to have a digitized copy of everything that we've received, so the public is aware of what we're gonna be discussing? Is that a possibility that we do it, as Mr. Hoffman has recommended, in a digitized fashion, so it's on the website, for instance?
If you're asking me a question of how to get this paper, hard copy, put out electronically, I can't answer that. Okay, I mean, I'm just be honest, I can't answer that. How that would go about, how does that happen, I'm sure it's possible, but if you're asking me directly, I can't answer that.
Okay.
I do know that, and this doesn't satisfy you, I get that, but any of these documents are available to view, not electronically, okay? But any of these documents that we have or that we go over are available to review for everyone. It's not as easy as doing it electronically, I understand that, but they are available, you know? So I can't answer that question, Commissioner Brandt, of the process it would take. That would be more of a tech type question that I'm not qualified to answer. If you're directing that at me.
Well, as chairman, I was directed.
Yes, I
I'd like
understand.
to ask council a question. Is there any legalities that would stop us from doing that?
No, sir, there's nothing that stops the county from doing that, Commissioner Brandt. The only thing the law requires, and it's somewhat, I guess, to what Mr. Huffman alluded to, is the agenda itself is all that the law requires to be posted or published in advance of your meeting. But there's nothing that says the supporting documentation cannot be either posted on the county's website or some other place for review by the general public. Nothing that I'm aware of that prevents that legally from being done.
Oh, so Chairman, I would assume, is that a question for the mayor then, if there's a possibility for us to do something like this, so that we have a public that wants to be informed on what we're making decisions about?
Well, these support, if the documents are provided by the mayor, you know, it would be the mayor's office. However, you know, I look down here in our packet, and we've got Marion Gas Systems Board of Waterworks. That would come totally separate electronically. You know, I assume as we look through it, different things that's submitted by different bodies would be up to them to somehow or another make that digital. Every support document we have does not come from the mayor's office. The mayor's office supplies them to us as a middleman. So every single document would not come from the mayor's office. Some would. So, you know, that's a question we'll have to, you know, certainly look into. I mean, that's a valid thing. And,
One thing we're having to do under new law, is get our website ADA compliant for those that cannot hear or see, excuse me. Yeah, we've been receiving emails from state comptroller's office for the last 3 weeks, and I forgot when the date is, that's gonna be compliant.
Next year, 2026.
26, yeah.
27.
But our IT folks and our website folks are working on that now. There's actually a sort of a program statewide or nationwide that everybody's gonna be using, so they're trying to work those.
so it'll be like closed caption. I'm just curious. I wasn't aware of that ADA requirement.
It's a new requirement.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 18, discuss, moving May commission meeting. Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, we've, Labor Day falls on the 4th Monday, 25th. Memorial Day, excuse me. And we always generally move our meeting to the Tuesday following that, which would be, May 26th, on that Tuesday after Memorial Day. So I make a recommendation that the commission do that.
Entertain motion.
So moved.
Commissioner Schaefer, second by Commissioner Abbott. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. That's May the 26th is the new day, right?
That's correct.
Agenda item number 19, Commissioner Abbott, update on the tax freeze.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your tax freeze committee
I first want to say thank you for all those that served on the committee. I appreciate your time and understanding and trying to research this for our citizens of our county. The Property Tax Freeze Committee had discussed several things about how we could implement this program if it would be beneficial and the process in doing so. What we found out or these are just a few facts so that you will know what we have to look at. The first one to qualify would be you'd have to be a homeowner and must be 65 years old by December 31st of the tax year. You must own your primary residence here in the county, meet income requirements, and file an annual application. Now that annual application consists of your tax returns so that they could verify what your income would be. As a part of that, we discussed the amount of time that would be needed to keep all of this information private, which would mean we would need to hire another staff person. It would mean we would need a locked vault of some kind, and we would need a meeting area for each individual applicant to discuss their income and how it was derived throughout the year. Of course, as receivership of Social Security, 65 and over, if you chose to do so, if you had some investments, if all those things that come into play in assessing your income for the year. These calculations are what is under the law of the state that says that what our income parameters would be. And they vary by county, but here in Marion County, the 2025 standard income limit would be $37,530, okay? Anything above that, if you owned your home by yourself, would not necessarily meet the qualifications. But also, if you had two living in a household, that standard limit would be $63,470. Now again, from the tax freeze program, it would benefit you in the event that we increased we increased property tax. And so for those of us that are here, I think 2011 was the last time we raised property tax in our county, am I correct? So all of these years, if this was implemented, we would just be paying something for nothing. It wouldn't be a benefit to our citizens. The only time the tax freeze program would be a benefit would be if the county was increasing their property taxes annually, or we could see that there was foreseeable increase that was coming. Now, of course, all of you know, I've got my letter from the state that said, hey, your property value hadn't gone down, and but hopefully in our discussions that we're gonna have over our budget time frame here to help work on that so that we can continue to have a fair property tax rate. So as part of the tax freeze committee, the recommendation is at this time, this would not be beneficial for our citizens due to the fact we're not increasing or haven't increased property tax since 2011. So I'll be glad to take any questions.
I'm not really astute on homestead exemption. Is that something that we're able to put in place?
Mr. Brandon, I don't wanna step on the assessor's toes, but the simple answer is no, we don't have a true homestead exemption. Like, for example, the state of Alabama does, our neighbor to the south. So unfortunately, that's really not available to us here in the same fashion.
So basically, there's nothing we can do for established neighborhoods that have already been here for God knows how long to help ease the burden of reassessment, then the millage rate. You know, we're obviously gonna bring the millage rate down in order to make it so the assessments, reassessments aren't so impactful. But there's nothing we can do to help for folks that have been here their entire life that are on fixed income to make sure that they don't get taxed out of their home.
Commissioner Brent, I've got great news for you. The tax freeze program won't necessarily help that. Although there's a tax relief program that's in place now.
You're talking from the state.
That's right. And the state, there's about 594, applicants so far annually that we have under tax relief, okay? So the tax freeze program, I don't wanna commingle those together, but tax freeze program, basically I wanna make sure and answer any questions from that standpoint. And then I want you to hear the recommendation, as we move forward on the tax relief side. So any other questions on the tax freeze
One
program?
thing you may want to add,
Yeah.
is your principal home and only 5 acres.
Yeah, so if you've got a farm, 10, 20, 100 acres, it can only encapsulate the 5 acres and their primary residence on that 5 acres. The value of that.
And also, David, some good information for everybody to know also. I thought this was gonna be a great project, but when you go to digging on it, there was, how many counties joined within the first year? I think there was around, most all the counties joined in that first year or two. And then after that, they figured out that it wasn't what it sounded like. It's a big burden on the county. Nothing is free. If you freeze tax rate, I don't know if it would affect right now. If we had a freeze tax rate right now, if our tax is 1.76 and this commission lowers it to 1 point whatever, would they stay right there at 1.76 because they're froze?
It depends on the application year. If you apply for that, it's gonna follow what, the property tax rate is. Now, again, from the tax freeze program, this is an application annually. So let's say that the county was increasing taxes over the next 3 years. This year, you filed for the tax relief program. Next year, you didn't file because you didn't come in and submit your application. Well, what would happen is that you would move to the next year's increase until you filed again. It would just follow. If you didn't file annually, when you file the first time, if you continue to file annually, it would stay there. If you skipped a year, it would move to that new year's tax, cost, so.
So as we want growth, obviously. We'd like to have more business growth, because that would obviously spread some of the tax burden. But as we have more developments, we can just all expect that these type of reassessments are gonna happen. It's because the value of your property is going up.
And it's all over the state of Tennessee, so that's right.
Thank you.
So, Commissioner Brandon, to answer your question on the tax relief program, roughly about 594 applicants now. The state supplements $96 per applicant unless you're a veteran. A veteran, they supplement $516. And we as a county commission have the ability to supplement that if we want to increase that. Of course, that's another discussion that we would need to have, and probably getting together and talking through that to see what would be beneficial for our citizens from what you had talked about there on helping from some tax relief.
Or can we keep your committee, yes, it's called the Tax Freeze Committee, can we maintain a committee so we can have that conversation with your same
Sure,
committee?
be glad to, yeah. I assume so if all the rest of the members want to stay on there.
That's good.
So thank you, that's my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Agenda item number 20, approval of notaries.
Angela Eggert Adams, Ashley Cheese, Cassidy Marie Cox, Allison Dobbs, Misty Jenny.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Rollins, second by Commissioner Cantrell. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 21, general business. Commissioner Schaefer.
As I said before, I don't know how I can close it now. Mr. Geller, could you assist me in changing my vote to no?
Well, I think effectively, Mr. Schaefer, you've already had the record reflect,
Right.
in what was done earlier, and I think the minutes are going to reflect that had you been aware of some law or statute that you referred to, you would have voted no last month.
Correct.
The way the rules work on changing your vote in the county commission meeting, on a particular agenda item, though, you have to do that, before that meeting is adjourned in order for that vote to be counted, as a yes or no vote toward that particular item. So in essence, it's too late to change it for purposes of the official vote that was given at last month's meeting. But you have clarified that had you known, of a particular statute or law, when you cast that vote, you would have voted differently. And I think that's what this month's minutes will now reflect. Madam Clerk, I'm not trying to speak for you, but that's what I understood, Mr. Schaefer.
Thank you.
So,
And that would probably be done at this time on the agenda, under general business, at the end of the meeting, during that same meeting.
yes, absolutely. Had brought it up in last month's meeting under general business and indicated he wished to change his vote, he could have done that. He could have done it actually at any time. He could have addressed the chair and had the floor and announced that he wanted to change his vote, certainly.
I have the home chair.
Good. Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Entertain a motion. Go ahead, Commissioner Atkins.
Go ahead.
General business. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanna, I'm sure everybody knows, but our own Marion County resident Presley Powers is now Miss Tennessee and will, compete for Miss America. We should be proud of that.
I would like to ask that, next month's meeting agenda, we add Director Griffith to the agenda to address the kind of the state of the schools. Give us an update on some things that are going on. We're hearing a lot of negativity, in my opinion, this last month, a lot of personal attacks against the administrators and our educators. We have some here in the room tonight. These folks are doing an incredible job, and we don't ever really hear that much about the good work they're doing, always the negative comments and the negative opinions about the job they're doing. I'd like to give him the opportunity to give us an update on the good things that are happening in the Marion County school system.
Yes, sir. I'll contact Dr. Griffith.
Thank you.
Personally. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Blanchett, second by Commissioner Campbell. Meeting adjourned.